Good morning. I'm at the ocean. We're in Monterey, California, and I wanted to videotape some more of my story. In my other video, or number one video, I talked about my van that I'm now living in, and showed you a little bit of the inside of it, a little tour of that. And then the second video, I talked about my childhood life a bit, and I'm still trying to figure out how to figure out YouTube videos and that, but I'm slowly getting the hang of it. It's been frustrating a bit, but that's okay. I'll just keep going with it and eventually figure it all out. So after I moved out and went to Tahoe with my sisters, my two oldest sisters, I lived with them in South Lake Tahoe, and it's just so beautiful here. Let me show you around a little bit. So these rocks are amazing. And I moved in with my oldest sister, and the three of us lived together in South Lake Tahoe. I went to work waitressing in the clubs, what I learned when my family and I lived in Reno. And at a young age, I started working when I was in the clubs when I was 13. My first video talks all about that. Excuse me. And then I'm sorry it's on black and white, the video. I can't seem to figure out how to get it off of black and white, but we'll figure it out sometime. So when I lived in South Lake Tahoe, it was really beautiful, getting away from, the struggles living with my father and my sisters and brothers in the wilderness was quite a struggle at times. But I also missed the family being together and my experience in the wilderness, living peacefully with nature, and gold mining and swimming in the rivers. We really formed a bond, the family did, after my parents broke up and we lived with my father. So I missed that when I moved to Lake Tahoe and started working. I was almost 18. But I worked every day there pretty much and tried to save money, but it all went to rent and the bills. But I still found time to really enjoy Lake Tahoe and just the freedom that I had. I remember the first time that I never really did shopping with my dad. We never went grocery shopping with him. He always did the shopping in all the years that we lived in the wilderness. So he would just bring the groceries back. So I didn't experience like going into the stores and just buying groceries from age 11 up to almost 18, from living in the wilderness and that. So I remember when I first went to the grocery store when I had moved out, and I couldn't believe that people were just piling up a whole bunch of food in their carts. I mean, that was okay to me, but it just seemed like it was just all stuff, like a lot of food that wasn't good for people. And just couldn't understand why they were just loading up their carts with like so much stuff that wasn't good for them, when I had been, we'd been eating pretty much like venison and berries and, living off the land a lot of the time. So, and I remember the first time I actually tried a bagel and cream cheese when I moved to Lake Tahoe. I tasted a bagel and cream cheese, and oh my gosh, it was so good. It was like the best thing ever. And and then I didn't think about that until years later, how that, that I had people. Anyways, but yeah, I didn't understand really, like, I didn't understand it at the time and really think about that when I tried the bagel and cream cheese. But then when I had, years later in my adulthood lives, I thought back to that, and I was like, wow, I didn't try a bagel and cream cheese until I was 18 or so. And then I noticed, like, started trying all the other foods and different, yummy foods. And working in the casinos, they had food available there for the employees, and that was always, I thought it was really good. Not as good as Callie's food, though, my oldest sister. I mean, she made really good food. So then I worked really hard. I couldn't really save money. And then I had dated a few men in Tahoe. And I always thought, well, I'll just wait until, this was my belief. And the way I was brought up was to stay a virgin until you get married. So I thought, well, I'll just stay a virgin until I get married, and then, meet the right man that really loves me. And so I waited for a while, and then I ended up dating some men, and eventually they were my boyfriends for a short while, maybe, and then I couldn't understand why they didn't love me, I mean, I was like, I just thought, oh, if I'm with this man, he's gonna love me because I'm so beautiful. But wrong, they were just having fun, and I didn't realize that. So I eventually learned that, and I found out that something was wrong there. It wasn't like I thought it would be. So I just kept working and working, and I got my GED, and I took a few college courses, and then I ended up meeting the kids' dad, and when he said that he loved me, that's when I just, like, I thought, oh, he loves me. Oh, okay. So with my experience, of life, growing up in the wilderness and not having a mother or adult role models. My father was there, but he never talked about, he talked about history or gold mining or, people and the war, but I really needed to have good role models in my life, and people that could teach me these things about men and about just, life experiences that come along when you're a young adult. And so anyhow, I met the kids' father, and I thought, oh, he said he loved me. And so I thought, oh, I love you too. At first I was like, I didn't say I loved you back for a while. But then eventually I was like, okay, I think he loves me, so I guess I'll love him. And so we stayed together for like 3 years, and he just kind of wine and dined me and bought me things. We went on vacations and together, and for the first time in my life, I was like, oh, I don't have to work. This is so nice, because I had been working since I was like 11 years old, really hard work, gold mining and hiking through the mountains, trying to find land to stake a claim, and just hard work. And I was like, oh wow, this is really nice. So I did that for like 3 years, and then we had a lot of fun together, and then I ended up pregnant. And yeah, and I told myself, oh, okay, this will be my family. I'll have a family now from the loss of my family, that I really wanted back. The loss of my family was just such a really big change, when we, we were like a pack, and so in the wilderness, living together and experience nature together was just really amazing. But there were also the hard times. But anyways, so that's just, so going forward again with what I was talking about. I had my first child, and then we settled down, and we did good. We did good for a while, and things seemed pretty good for about probably the first year, I would say. And then things took a turn for the worst. So we separated, and I ended up getting back together with him, and had, and because I wanted the family back so bad. I wanted that for my daughter, and I just really wanted it to work out, no matter what it took. Counseling, reading books, all that. So we got back together. I ended up having 2 more kids with him, kids' father, and I had a girl and 2 boys. And I really, we both really wanted it to work out, but it was just, we needed, I actually got us into counseling, and I got books. I tried talking to him, but nothing seemed to work out at this point. And so we separated again, and I ended up raising the 3 kids on my own. And that was quite a struggle, but to me it didn't seem like it was that hard of a struggle after my life living in the wilderness and the hard times that I endured doing, that my family and I endured in the wilderness, and working really hard at a young age. So raising my 3 kids, it was a challenge for me, but it was something that I guess I was kind of used to, just like struggling and challenges, and so it wasn't really that hard, and I made the best of it. I made the best of raising my children, and we had a lot of fun together. There was a lot of laughter, and I gave them a lot of love, and I wanted to be there for them. You know, I literally wanted to do, like a lot of things that my parents didn't do. Those are the things that I wanted to do. And so I kind of changed that, and I changed that as far as like being there for them. And we lived out in the country, and they were able to experience the rivers, the lakes, the ponds growing up. I had huge rope swings that I would put up. My father always did that for my sisters and brothers and I, so I would do that for my kids, and they got to experience that life. And we would go to the river, the big river, quite often, and go swimming there, and camping a lot. And so that was a really beautiful part of my life. And then they finally got old enough to where their father was in their life off and on, and would like come and spend time with them and play ball, or birthdays and Christmas. And so even though it was hard for me to try to make the best of that situation, I wanted that for my kids, and did my best to make it good when I was around him with the kids, so that they could have their father in their life as well. But they could have used being in his life more, but by that time he had already had some kids of his own with another woman. And so anyhow, they kind of they enjoyed the time being around him when he was available, but they definitely needed a father figure in their life more. And and then one day my kids moved out, and I became just like, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm reconnecting with who I am. I'm, just experiencing life without them. I'm still around them, of course, but it's not like it used to be. And it's such a big change when the children move out. It's just something that I expected that to happen someday, but I don't know, I always thought that we would live in the same town, and and be a part of each other's lives more, although I am in the same town with one of my children, or adult children, so I have to travel to go see the other two. But I'm just thankful I get to see them and be a part of their life still, and they're all doing fine. It's been a struggle for them in their life with some things, but they're working through the things, and they have so much strength and courage, and I've always been very proud of them. So anyways, I'm just figuring out different things in my life. I'm not quite sure what video I'm going to have up next. I've been thinking about different things to talk about, and trying to zero in on that and just kind of connect with that without rushing. So I'm looking forward to sharing more of my journey with you. And thank you for joining me and listening to my video. And you have a beautiful day. And I will talk to you later. Bye.